Chef Brian Tsao here, not your typical chef, and this is Q&A number 2. Before I go on, I do want to mention that the winner of the February giveaway for an official Chef Brian Tsao cutting board still has not reached out to me. So guess what? I'm giving it to someone else. No, that's not true. Arctic Folly, you can still hit me up at any time. Again, remember everyone, these giveaways are opened worldwide. However, I am picking a second winner. That's right. I'm giving away two cutting boards altogether. Make sure you stay till the end of the video to know who won that second cutting board. And remember, if you don't win, you can still visit the merch store, link in the description below. There you can get official Chef Brian Tsao Chef Kiss tees, the cutting board, and aprons, all kinds of cool stuff. Make sure you check it out. And finally, I would greatly appreciate it if you took a few seconds to follow Mission Sandwich. That is the official Instagram account of my upcoming sandwich shop due to open in Williamsburg, Brooklyn this spring 2022. First question to be answered comes from Human Sheep, who is a sous chef level patron on my Patreon page. He says, what is something, a piece of equipment, layout, or design that you were super adamant about for the sandwich shop? First thing I can think of is definitely something called a Turbo Chef oven. For all intents and purposes, it's a super advanced oven. It's the type of oven that you'll find at like a Starbucks, for example. It has a lot of functionality of something like a microwave, but has the power of a convection oven. They work really fast. They heat the product through very quickly. And for something like my upcoming sandwich shop, which is going to be a high volume type of store, I need something like that. They are not cheap. I got 2 of them, in fact, and they were probably some of the most expensive equipment purchases I have ever made in my career. Next question comes from Daniel Perlman, who is also a sous chef level patron on my Patreon. He said, was there a moment that you decided, yes, I am a pro chef? I can't say I ever had a moment where I stopped and said to myself, yeah, I'm a pro chef now. I got into the business completely by accident. It was a summer job. I just so happened to enjoy the kitchen life a lot, and I stuck with it. I feel like what I can say is when I decided to go to culinary school is the moment where I felt like, okay, I'm gonna take this career seriously. I'm actually going to give this a real shot, because up until that point, I never, ever put in an effort at school whatsoever. So when I finally made the decision, this is what I'm going to do, I was a straight A student, and I do remember that. Man, I went to culinary school more than 10 years ago. So I've been doing this for 18 years. So like 14 years ago now, because I was in the industry for 4 years before I went to culinary school. So 14 years ago, went to culinary school, decided I'm going to do this for real. And I guess from that moment, I was on my way to become a pro chef. Next question comes from Aaron May. Hi, Chef Brian, new subscriber of your channel. What do you think is the road to become a chef? Is it as straightforward as culinary school? Or do you suggest other ways? Aspiring chef here, about to retake college this year. There are many ways to become a chef. You don't have to go to culinary school to become a chef. I worked in the industry for 4 years before I decided to go to culinary school. I felt I had reached a point of my career where going to culinary school would have done a lot of good. While I don't regret it, I went to, one of the most expensive culinary schools in the country. I'm still paying those loans to this day. So it put me in a lot of debt. And at the early stages of your career, you're not going to make a lot of money. So you're going to be paying, if you go to a really nice culinary school, while I, again, don't regret it at all. In fact, I'm glad I did it, and I gladly pay my student loans. It could be very expensive and put you in a lot of debt. You can definitely go the old school route, learning from kitchen to kitchen, but I do think that there's a lot of value in going to school and having that discipline in your life. However, that does not mean you are a chef after you graduate. The road to becoming a chef is a long and painful one. Obviously today I've done well for myself, but it took a long time to reach that point. And there are, quite frankly, there are other career fields that will probably pay you better for a lot, maybe not effort but a lot less hard physical work that requires all of your mental and physical being. You know, I would say if you're getting into the industry, just start working as a dishwasher. Just get into the atmosphere and really see if it's for you. Because I gotta tell you, most of my classmates that I graduated with are no longer in this industry. Next question comes from Arnav Aurora, and they ask, you have been a professional chef for a very long time. What is the weirdest encounter that you have had with a customer? So I've had all kinds of encounters with customers. 90% of them were very positive. Quite frankly, most of the time, it's the server that's dealing with the customer. You know, this sandwich shop that I'm opening will be the first time where the kitchen is literally customer facing, so we're dealing with customers for day to day. I can tell you though, what was one of the most memorable experiences from someone who got upset at the restaurant, and that was when I did a Halloween themed dessert. I made a molten cake with white chocolate ganache that I colored red to represent blood. I made these tiny little sugar axes and a sugar finger. Actually, I didn't make the sugar finger. I bought it from a pastry supply store, and then like kind of did it up. I'll put a picture of it right now. It was super cool, a lot of fun. And this made it into the New York Post. Someone saw it, called the restaurant, and told me that I should be ashamed of myself because at that time, Al Qaeda was putting out videos of people getting their heads chopped off, and she basically compared my dessert to that and thought it was tasteless. It was kind of funny because when I got to the restaurant to start my day, the server sat me down. Wonderful person, Tammy. You are such a sweetheart. She sat me down and she's like, okay, I got to tell you something. Don't get mad. And she told me the situation of this lady who called, who was pissed off about my, chopped off finger molten cake, thinking that I would be really sad and upset. And in fact, I was like, oh, that's super cool. It means I'm doing something right. And I went on with the rest of my day really happy. Remy Stir asks, what's the most favorite dish coming out of younger years do you enjoy? Would you make it a sandwich? Well, in some ways, I guess I make it a sandwich. So my favorite thing to eat growing up was something my grandma used to make for me, and it was just literally white rice with a couple of eggs, and she would mix it up in like a super ghetto form of egg fried rice, minus the fry. I loved eating that, and it was really easy for my grandma to make. It was like my after-school snack. My mom kind of upped the level and added Kraft single cheese and ketchup to it. I know some of you are completely grossed out by that, the idea of ketchup and eggs. I don't care what you think. It's what I love, and I still love to this day. And I can't tell you how many egg and cheese and salt, pepper, ketchup sandwiches that I've made. In fact, in New York, and I'm sure as in many places across the U.S. at least, at least in the Northeast, it's very common to have, eggs, bacon, egg, and cheese, with salt, pepper, ketchup. Again, some people find the ketchup gross with eggs. I love it. Sorry, not sorry. Kate Kenya asks, which chef is your role model that inspired you to cook? So there was no particular chef that actually inspired me to cook. Even though when I was becoming a chef was the real heyday of the Food Network and shows like Top Chef and Chop, there was no particular chef I looked up to. I got into this industry completely by accident. I originally wanted to be a professional musician. That's what I did when I lived in Beijing, China, where I went to high school and did a little college and eventually became a drug-using degenerate and had to come back to the States and turn my life around. I took the first job I could get, and that was in the kitchen. And so I guess I could say that the chef that owned the place where I got my first kitchen job, it was called Hana Pastries, and the chef's name is Michael Hu, H-U, and he's from Hawaii. He's a judge for the U.S. pastry competition. He's won it, numerous times, and he was my first inspiration, actually. I just thought he was the coolest dude, and I wanted to be just like him, and thus I stayed in the career field, and here we are today. Travis asks, what nationality are you? I'm American, baby, and I'm as American as it gets, and I will tell you why. It is because my mother is Korean and my father is Taiwanese. However, my father is, my grandfather is Chinese Filipino, while my grandmother is Indonesian Chinese, or Chinese Indonesian, however you want to say it. So very, a lot of mixed blood over there. And my wife is Malaysian, and we have a daughter together. And where else in this world can you find a combo like that? Like, where else does that happen? Very proudly American. Say whatever you want or think, rest of the world. Born and raised in New York City for the most part. And mother's Korean, father's Taiwanese, if you want to simplify it. Jellyfish asks, are you going to make a fried rice video? Yes, I am. I actually intended to, announce in a video as I was creeping up to 10,000 subscribers that if I hit 10,000 subscribers, I would do my own egg fried rice video. However, before I could even film that, you amazing people helped me reach 10,000 subscribers. And not only that, like a couple days later, it hit 12,000. So, we blew the target completely out of the water. I'm completely blown away. Thank you so much. So yes, my own egg fried rice video is coming out. I am having someone help me produce it though, because as I get closer and closer to opening my sandwich shop, my time is just getting really, really tight. I'm trying to record another Lost Becomes record. For those of you who don't know, Lost Becomes is my band, link in the description below. I'm trying to get that recorded before the shop opens so that this way, while I'm busy dealing with the shop, at least the record can get mixed and mastered and stuff like that. I went off on a tangent. I am making an egg fried rice video. That'll be it for today's Q&A. If I did not answer your question, I promise I will on the next one. I just don't want this video to get too crazy long. I appreciate you all so much. I do read every single one of the comments, positive and negative. It's just literally gotten to the point where I cannot keep up. Obviously, good problems to have. So again, thank you so much. And as promised, I said that I would announce who is going to be the second winner of a second official Chef Brian Tsao cutting board, and that's going to be Aaron May. Your thing's going to pop up on the screen right now. If that's you, find me. Easiest way to reach out to me is through Instagram. Claim your cutting board. It will be shipped to you anywhere you may be in this world. Thank you so much for participating. If you guys are enjoying this content, please consider becoming a patron. Link in the description below. There you'll get awesome perks like early viewings of future episodes, discounts on my merch store, and priority on getting your questions answered on Q&As. With that said, I am Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef, and I'll see you really soon.